Peace be with you. In the second chapter of the Quran, Surah Baqarah, God tells us, "This book, there is no doubt in it, is a guide for those who are careful of their duty." In Arabic, Huda lil Muttaqeen. When people are careful of their duty, they are careful to do what they are supposed to do. And what are Muslims supposed to do? Well, Muslims are supposed to follow the Huda. They're supposed to follow the guidance and do what God loves and stay away from what God hates, which is exactly what the Quran describes. If you have a map to a treasure, and you have to view Islam as a treasure if you are a Muslim, if you have a map to a regular treasure, but you don't follow that map, you turn left when it tells you to turn right, you turn right when it tells you to turn left, you disobey the map, you're never going to get to that treasure. Therefore, what you have is a piece of paper and not a treasure. Similarly, when we are talking about Islam, or anything else for that matter, if you have a book, but you don't do what that book tells you to do, then all you have is a book. If you have the Quran, but you don't do what the Quran tells you to do, you don't have Islam. What you have is a book. Consider this. If when the Quran was revealed, early Muslims did not put it into practice, their communities would look at them and say, these people are hypocrites. They say one thing but do another. But because the Muslims put into practice what they learned from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they did everything in their power to put it into practice, their people, their communities looked at these people, saw how they behaved, saw that they were of exalted moral character, that they were better than they were, and they started accepting Islam and improving themselves as well. Ultimately, even the worst of their enemies, the worst of the polytheists who fought against Muslims and killed Muslims, eventually accepted Islam. So, if we as Muslims call ourselves Muslims but don't put into practice what we have learned, but we claim to be the words of God, we are hypocrites, munafiqeen. We are the worst of people. We say one thing and do another. Whoever among us does this, for us, for those people to do this, will be the lowest place of hell, even worse than the disbelievers, even worse than the mushrikeen, the polytheists. God says in the Quran, in the 4th chapter of the Quran, verse 138, announce to the hypocrites that they will have a painful punishment. And also in the 4th chapter of the Quran, verse 145, surely the hypocrites are in the lowest stage of the fire, and you will not find a helper for them. If you call yourself a Muslim, understand that you cannot claim that there is a right direction and that the Quran describes the right direction, Sirat al-Mustaqim, and then refuse to follow it and still expect to go where that direction leads, to heaven. No. If you refuse to follow Huda, if you refuse to follow the map, as with anything with life, you are not going to get to where the map set leads, because you are choosing to go the other way. Peace be with you.